Warm greetings, Africans. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are doing well, guys. Okay, guys, let's talk about Tito Mboweni's legacy. Let's ask this question. Was Tito Mboweni a revolutionary? And what is his legacy? Right? As we know, Tito Mboweni passed away about 2 weeks back, then was buried last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So let's interrogate his history, his contributions, and what legacy does he leave behind, right? Okay. For those who do not know, Tito Mboweni, right, was born Tito Titus Mboweni, right? He was born on the 16th of March in 1959. He was born in Tzaneen, right? That was formerly known as Transvaal Union, but now it is in Limpopo, right? He passed on the 12th of October 2024, right, at the age of 65. Okay, all right. Tito Mboweni, let's not check into his history and his leadership roles, right? Tito Mboweni was the 8th governor of the South African Reserve Bank, right? And the first black South African to hold the post from 1999 to 2009, right? He was sworn in as Minister of Finance on the 19th of October, right? 2018, right? Following the resignation of the then Finance Minister Nhlanhla. This is under Cyril Ramaphosa's administration, right? All right. Tito Mboweni was a founding member of the Mboweni Brothers Investment Holdings and a former international advisor of mark this one, of Goldman Sachs International. He had been appointed a non-executive director for South Africa at the New Development Bank, the BRICS Development Bank, right? Okay, let's just check into his early life and career. The youngest of 3 children, right? Tito Mboweni was born, like I've already said, on the 16th of March 1959. He grew up in Tzaneen in the Limpopo province. Okay. He attended the University of the North between 1979 and 1980, where he registered for a Bachelor of Commerce degree. He did not complete his studies there and left South Africa to go into exile in 1980, right? Meaning he left South Africa for exile in 1980. While in exile in Lesotho, Mboweni joined the African National Congress, the ANC, right? And was an activist for the party in many capacities. He obtained a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Political Science from the National University of Lesotho in 1985. In 1988, he obtained a Master of Arts in Development Economics from the University of East Anglia in England, right? Okay. Prior to his appointment as Minister of Labour, Mboweni was a deputy head of the Department of Economic Policy in the ANC. As you know, ANC has these substructures, the safety and security, the economic development, and all of that, right? He was the deputy head of that subcommittee in the African National Congress. He also represented the ANC on several domestic and international platforms. Mboweni was a member of the ANC's National Executive and National Working Committees, and was also a chairperson of the National Executive Committee's Economic Transformation Committee, which coordinated the development of ANC economic policies, right? Mark that one, highlight that, because that one is very important, because later on we'll talk about how Tito Mboweni, Trevor Manuel, and Thabo Mbeki, they were popularly known as the TMs, right? Thabo Mbeki, Tito Mboweni, and Trevor Manuel. Mboweni served as Minister of Labour from May 1994 to July 1998, right, in South African President Nelson Mandela's cabinet. This was in the Mandela's cabinet. While Minister of Labour, Mboweni was the architect of South Africa's post-apartheid labour legislation, which allowed for collective bargaining and establishment of labour courts. He became one of the World Economic Forum's global leaders of tomorrow. As we talk about his history and his legacy, one of the positive contributions that Mboweni had, it is when he was the Minister of Labour. The reason we've got the legislation such as the Labour Relations Act of 1995, it is due to his influence and contribution. So we ought to give credit to him for that. That most of these progressive labor laws that we have as a country, especially emerging in the post-1994 era, it is largely to his contribution, right? So we ought to give him credit for that. In 1997, Mboweni was appointed head of ANC's policy department, which was responsible for managing ANC policy processes. Upon joining the South African Reserve Bank, he resigned all of his elected and appointed positions in the ANC. Right? Mboweni joined the South African Reserve Bank in July 1988 as the first black advisor to the governor. On 8 August 1998, he succeeded Chris Stals. Remember Chris Stals, the one who was appointed by Nelson Mandela in 1994 as the Reserve Bank governor. Right? So Tito Mboweni succeeded Chris Stals as governor of the Reserve Bank. As governor, he oversaw the launch of the inflation targeting policy. That's where now the problem begins with Tito Mboweni. Remember we spoke about Tito Mboweni, who championed progressive labor legislation when he was the Minister of Labor. But now once he joined the Reserve Bank, he started championing the neoliberal program. Remember, he was a governor serving under the finance minister, which was Trevor Manuel, the TM. And Trevor Manuel serving under Thabo Mbeki, TM, the three TMs that I spoke about. So that's where now Tito Mboweni now regressed into the neoliberal project. Right? As you say, he oversaw the launch of the inflation targeting, which destroyed jobs in this country. The inflation targeting. Of the inflation targeting policy to help the bank achieve price stability and dealt with the rents plunged due to global and local events. During his tenure, Mboweni was appointed honorary professor of economics at the University of South Africa for 2000 to 2003. The governor was also elected chancellor of the University of Northwest and was installed as chancellor on 23rd February 2002. The University of Stellenbosch appointed the governor professor extraordinary in economics for the period 1 April 2002 to 31st March 2005. Right. In June 2010, remember he served as a governor from 2009, from 1999 until 2009, meaning he served for a decade. In June 2010, Mboweni was appointed an international advisor of Goldman Sachs International, where he provided strategic advice to the firm on business development opportunities with a particular focus on South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. He also served as the chairman of Bullion producer Anglo Gold Ashanti, among other company directorships. Now, this is where you see now, because we cannot be appointed into these structures, your Goldman Sachs Internationals and Anglo Gold Ashanti, if you are not yourself a champion of the neoliberal project. Any progressive black person will not be appointed into these institutions. Any black person who's known to be pro-transformation will not be appointed to this. Meaning, Tito Mboweni, when he was appointed into these institutions, it is because during his tenure as a Reserve Bank governor, he had proved to these institutions that indeed he's anti-transformation, he's anti-black in his outlook. Hence, they appointed him there to continue to champion that project of halting transformation in South Africa. Right. Then also remember that then he served as the Minister of Finance from 2018 up until 2021. On the 9th of October 2018, Mboweni was announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa as the new Minister of Finance of the Republic of South Africa with immediate effect, following Nhlanhla resignation. From the beginning of his tenure, Mboweni often found himself at odds with the ruling ANC policy and ideology. Remember in 2017, when the ANC resolved on the radical economic transformation program in terms of the economic policies. But Tito Mboweni, during his time as a Minister of Finance, he had the guts to defy the ANC. Because remember, the ANC was a majority party, meaning those ministers who are ANC members who are appointed by the ANC in its cabinet are meant to carry out the policies, carry out and implement the policies of the ANC, the policies that are a resolution of the ANC conferences. But Tito Mboweni defied it, meaning that Tito Mboweni was deployed by the ANC but was serving the white monopoly capital. Right? From the ruling ANC has always inclined itself towards socialist policies, a stance which has been viewed as a form of appeasing its alliance partners, the South African Communist Party and the COSATU. On the other hand, Mboweni continuously preferred liberal solutions, such as his 2019 Economic Recovery Growth Plan, which was rejected by the SACP and COSATU. Right? So, now, here's a man that I posed the question that, was Tito Mboweni a revolutionary? Right? It cannot be, now we're answering that question. It cannot be that Tito Mboweni was a revolutionary. Tito Mboweni was a hired gun that was used by the white monopoly capital to suppress black people, to suppress any transformation program, to ensure that transformation does not happen in this country, economic transformation, that it remains a pipe dream. Hence, he was even as brave as to defy the ANC's conference. Right? He chose not to implement the ANC policies. So such a person cannot be regarded as a revolutionary. So now to have the likes of Thabo Mbeki and others lying that Tito Mboweni was a revolutionary, I mean, clearly it means the likes of Thabo Mbeki, they've got a different definition of what it means for one to be a revolutionary. You see. But you guys feel free to tell me, what do you make of that? Was Tito Mboweni a revolutionary? Because for me, Tito Mboweni was a sellout. Just like Trevor Manuel and Thabo Mbeki, the triple TMs. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. And feel free to comment in the comment section below. Please remember to like the video and share on your social media platforms. And remember to join the channel as well. Siyabonga ma-Afrika, makukhanya.